Hey Lab Rats, it is Becky with Lab Rat Academy, and I am hiking out here at Jack's Peak, which is in the Monterey County in California. And as I was strolling along, I was thinking, oh, it would be so cool if I can share about what I'm seeing on this trail with my Lab Rats. And so let's take a little guided nature trail as we go along this trail, because a lot of these plants, I can identify just by looking at them, just by observing what they look like. I can figure out what they are. Like this tree that I'm walking past right here. Can you guys tell what kind of tree this is? If you look at it, you can see it has long needles. Yeah, these are long needles, which means that it is a pine tree. And because I'm in Monterey County, I pretty much know that this is a Monterey pine. Pretty cool. And Monterey pines have a pine cone that looks like this. See? I wanted to pick up the pine cone and it came with the branch. You can see this pine cone right here. Pine cones are where the tree stores its seeds. So this one actually has all the pine cones right along the branch, which is kind of funny. So these are the fruit of this tree. Now it sounds kind of funny that a pine cone would be the fruit, but that's where its seeds are, and that's why squirrels like to crack open those pine cones and get to the pine nuts that are inside of these. Now the pine nuts on these trees are really not that tasty for eating. You know, sometimes they find pine nuts in stores. Those are really like thick and juicy and whoa, so expensive, but they are really good, it's a lot of work to cut open those pine cones to get to the fruit, to get to the nuts of those pine cones. So as we continue along here, you will see that I'm coming to this stuff. Anybody know what that is? Stay away from that. That is our infamous poison oak. That's right. Poison oak is not a very good thing to hold on to because it has these oils in it called urushiol oils. And a lot of people, like me, are allergic to it. And so if those oils touch your skin, it can cause inflammation, it can cause itchiness, it can cause boils and weird stuff. So you just want to stay away from that. Now, during this time of year when it gets kind of dry, it's the beginning of summer here, so there's not a lot of moisture. That poison oak turns like yellow and oranges and reds and purples. And I'll show you right here, one of them. Here's one. Yeah, there's a red one right there, red and purple. Super pretty, right? Yeah, just don't touch those ones. So, as I continue along here, I'm coming through a forest of poison oak. You can see all the red leaves over there. That's something we want to stay on the trail. Very important to stay on the trail when you're taking a hike because there's a lot of things that are off the trail that you want to stay away from, like this poison oak. All right, so as I'm hiking along here, I can also see this right here. This tree, owie, it's got little pokies in it. Even the leaves that are on the ground have little pokies in them. This is a California live oak, also known as a coast live oak. I know this is an oak tree because it has little spines on the end of them, little pokies, and it has a netted venation in the leaves. Woo, and that tells me it's a California live oak. There's a lot of them. They have really cool trunks, if you guys can see, kind of sprawling. They angle out. It's kind of an eerie look to them. I think it's pretty cool, especially in the morning when it's all foggy. Oh, here's a toyon. This right here is a toyon. The leaves kind of have a toothed edge to them. See those little toothed edges on them? And this used to be a flower, but right now the flower has turned into little fruits with seeds on the inside of them. Oh, here's one with the flower. Can't stray too far off the trail because there are poison oak, but here's some flowering ones right here. Can you guys see those? Yeah. Super fun. Moving right along. In a lot of these trees, I can see that there is some lichen. The lace lichen, which is California. It's the state lichen for See if I can find any on the ground because it's kind of far up in the tree. I don't know if you can see it up there. No, it's kind of dark. But kind of hangs down low. Oh, here's some. You can see right here. This is lichen, also known as old man's beard. Because it makes you look like you have an old man's beard, right? Or a mustache. Oh, look at this. This is a manzanita. And they have tiny little leaves. And a lot of time they actually have little berries. This one does not have berries, but I can tell that it's a manzanita because of the amazing bark that it has. It has this peeling red bark on it when it's alive. And it's twisted and beautiful and gnarly. Not a cool word, it's gnarly. Oh, look here. This is a lotus. It's also known as deerweed, but I can tell it's deerweed because it actually has orange and yellow flowers along it. This is actually the biggest one I've ever seen. Normally a little shorter to the ground. Oh, look. And here is sticky monkey flower. These guys have sticky leaves. Not sure what the adaptation of that is. But these little flowers, they almost look like trumpeting flowers. And if you pull them out very gently, they have at the tip of them right here is a nectary at the tip of the nectary, and that's where hummingbirds like to stick their beaks inside there and suck out the nectar. And so for this flower, I like to come along and suck on the nectar, and oh my gosh, I just tasted just a tiny little bit of sweet nectar inside of this sticky monkey flower. Now, because I want to respect nature, I'm not going to pull all of its flowers off because that's not right, and that's wouldn't make me nutritiously fit anyway. So, sticky monkey flower is pretty awesome. Now, as I hike along here, there are actually a couple plants I do not know. Maybe you guys can help me out with this. Do you know what this may be? Mom, are you watching? What's this one? There are little yellow flowers right here. I mean, they're kind of white. They're white. These little, almost look like pine needle branches. But it's a bush out here in the chaparral area. This is a chaparral area where it's kind of dry and low. It's almost about as tall as I am, a little bit lower. I have the manzanita and that strange bush that I didn't know what it was. And oh, I came to the top of the mountain. Very cool. Oh, and here are some of the berries of the manzanita bush. Here's a shorter one. Isn't that cool? Here's the sun going down over those Monterey pines. Isn't that so beautiful? And there's some really interesting rocks as I climb down here. Looks like a lot of like sandstone. Sedimentary rock somehow, because as it erodes away, I can see the sediments are turning into like this sand-like mixture. So it must be made out of sediments, or it's becoming sediments because I'm walking on them. But I'm pretty sure that it is a sedimentary rock. Can you guys guess what that one is? That one is a pine tree too. Kind of falling apart. There's a moon up there. It is a waxing crescent moon, which means it is starting to get bigger, because I can tell that because the light is on the right side of the moon right now as the sun is setting in sets in the west, right? Yeah. Sun sets in the west, and as it does that, the light is on the right side of the moon, and so that's called a waxing crescent moon. And some of these berries on these manzanita are really big. I'm not sure I want to try to eat those. Manzanita means little apple in Spanish, right? So you can see as I hike along here that there is some amazing erosion going on, some weathering as it rains in this area and as people walk down. You can see the water and the people tracking down this area has caused it to start to wear away. So weathering is when it starts to erode and tear away at the rocks. And then the erosion is when it actually carries it away with the water down this area down here. Pretty cool, isn't that awesome? I have never been in this area. Pretty exciting. It actually comes all the way over here. You can see there's more of that weathering happening over here. And because it is sandstone, some kind of, I'm gonna climb down into this area. This is exciting because I've never been here. Because of this weathering, because it is, what was I talking about? The sandstone. Because it is sandstone, it tends to be a little bit more, ooh, it's a big jump here. Ooh. Whoa, check this out. Look, looks like during the rainy season, this will become like a watering hole for some animals. You can see it splatters on the rock. Wow, check that out. A little bit of adventure on our nature hike, right? I like how the water kind of makes these interesting patterns on this sedimentary rock. And because it's so fragile, it just looks like there's sand beneath it. Wow, look at this. And then this is kind of like where the sand that comes out of that area just becomes like whoosh, like a wash. Interesting wash right there. I think that was the end of it. I'm definitely not going to go in there because it looks like it's all bushy. So now I get to climb out of this area very carefully. Careful. Super fun. And sun is still up. I think I'm still good to go. I definitely don't want to be left out here when the sun sets because the only light I have, which is my phone. Oh, I got lots of time. Awesome. So here's some more of these interesting plants that I don't know what they are. And some more manzanita. You guys see my amazing trail right there? Doesn't that look cool? Oh, there's another pine tree. And this stuff all kind of looks the same. Now here's a different kind of lichen right here. Take a look at this. So lichen is Alice algae and Freddy fungus. They took a lichen to each other. So a mixture of algae and fungus. And there's more over here. It's a little bit, almost looks, might be the beginning of, actually a little harder. It's almost like the lace lichen, but it's shorter than the ones that hang off the trees. Beautiful. So nice to get out and catch my breath. Oh, here's some, this is really cool how the manzanita peels. Do you guys see that? This, wow, it just kind of rolls off. Isn't that amazing? I think it's pretty. Beautiful bark of the manzanita. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed yourself. Don't forget to get out, take a stroll, go online to see if the area that you have has some like plant identification books. The Jack's Peak area has a couple websites you can go and flip through the different pictures to see, hey, what's this? What's this? So that you can learn as you go along. And the more that you learn it, the more that you do it, you're like, oh, last time I pulled out my book and I didn't really remember it. Do it again. And then you'll be able to remember the more that you do it. Our brain is really cool that way. Well, I love you guys. I hope you have a great day. If you like this, don't forget to like, comment, share, tell everybody about Lab Rat Academy, because I definitely want to share this with the world. I love sharing science and I love you guys. So we will see you later in the next one. Bye-bye.